It's 8 o'clock. This is the UK Tonight. I'm Matt Barbett. Coming up, inside the country's housing crisis as more than 1 million people wait for social housing.
While the Mayor of London stands at a podium telling the world that London is the undisputed tech capital of Europe, the reality behind the glass is a graveyard in ambition. I've been tracking the numbers the mainstream media refuses to touch, and they are catastrophic. Meta has just slashed its London headcount by 30%. Amazon's massive shortage office is sitting half empty, and the startups that were supposed to be the Silicon Valley of Europe are dying by the dozen every single week. This isn't just about a few lost jobs. This is the combustion of the London property market. The stupid money that pushed converted warehouses in Shoreditch from £400,000 to £1.5 million in 3 years has evaporated. But the most terrifying part? Sadiq Khan knows. Behind closed doors, internal briefings are modeling 25% property price drops and a total collapse in tax revenue. He is panicking because the tech workers who justified million-pound flats are leaving the country entirely. Tonight, I am exposing the leaked reality of London's housing crash, a crash that is no longer coming but is already here, hidden by creative accounting and political denial. To understand why this is happening, you have to look at the madness of 2020 to 2023. Every American tech giant wanted a London footprint. Google bought a building in King's Cross for $1 billion. Kids straight out of university were getting $70,000 salaries, while senior developers were on £200,000 plus stock options. These people didn't just buy homes, they engaged in bidding wars that destroyed entire neighborhoods. Hackney became unaffordable overnight. Peckham gentrified at lightning speed because tech workers were priced out of Shoreditch. But that entire ecosystem was built on a bet that interest rates would stay at zero and tech growth would be infinite. That bet just went catastrophically wrong. Meta's King's Cross office, built for 4,000 workers, now has a headcount under 2,000. Amazon was built for 1,500 in Shoreditch, maybe 700 are left. When these high-paying jobs vanish, the property market goes with them. Transaction volumes in Hackney have already collapsed by 45%. People aren't just selling, they are walking away from properties that have lost £250,000 in value in just 2 years. One tech worker I spoke to is trapped in a flat that was listed for £800,000. 6 months later, it hasn't sold at £575,000. There are simply no buyers left. Publicly, the mayor is still quoting 2022 investment numbers to claim London is thriving. It's delusional. He talks about London is open campaigns while tech hiring is down 70%. You cannot buy a £1 million flat on a hospitality or retail wage, which are the only jobs being created now. I have seen the internal briefings from City Hall. They aren't talking about resilience. They're modeling Detroit-style urban decay. They know that foreign investment in London property is down 60%. The Chinese buyers have been banned from overseas investment, the Russians are sanctioned, and Middle Eastern money is fleeing to Dubai. The mayor's big plan for affordable housing at £500,000 is a joke. Who is it for? The tech workers who just lost their visas? Because when the job goes, the visa goes, and 40,000 international workers left London in Q3 2024 alone. They're trading cramped terraces in London for detached homes in Manchester, Leeds, or even leaving for Amsterdam or Barcelona, where the cost of living doesn't eat 70% of their take-home pay. If you want to see the future of London, look at the lights. I've walked through King's Cross and Shoreditch at 9 p.m. in developments with 300 apartments, maybe 40 have lights on. These are ghost towers, luxury developments built for tech professionals who no longer exist. The commercial side is even worse. WeWork has shrunk from 40 London locations down to just 12. Thousands of square feet of premium office space have been abandoned. The landlords who thought they hit the jackpot are now stuck with empty buildings and zero income. Office building values have crashed by 40% in 3 years. The developers are desperate. They're offering 2 years of free service charges, stamp duty paid, and furniture packages, and they still can't shift units. Why? Because the build-to-rent model has collapsed. These companies borrowed billions at near zero rates, assuming 90% occupancy at premium rents. Reality is 50% occupancy at reduced rents. They're hemorrhaging money, and one major company is on the verge of defaulting on $800 million in loans. When that happens, the banks will own thousands of flats they can neither rent nor sell. This is where it gets sinister. This isn't just a market correction, it's an engineered wealth transfer. As individual tech workers and small landlords are crushed by the mortgage time bomb, where payments are jumping from £1,400 to £3,100, the vultures are circling. Institutional investment funds like Blackstone and Vanguard have raised over $15 billion specifically to buy distressed UK residential property. They're not buying now. They're waiting for the blood in the streets they know is coming in 2025 and 2026. They can afford to pay cash and wait for the market to reset into a nation of permanent renters. The government and the mayor are facilitating this. The Renters Reform Bill and the new property registration database aren't for tenants, they're for wealth mapping. They're designed to make it impossible for small landlords to operate, forcing them to sell to the very corporate giants that fund political campaigns. We're moving from a contractual rental relationship to something closer to feudalism, where your rent is set by an algorithm and your home is just a spreadsheet entry for a hedge fund. The Mayor of London can stand at as many podiums as he likes, but mathematics doesn't care about his hopes. We have 3.2 million households about to hit a mortgage cliff by January 2026. We have a tech sector in retreat and a commercial property market in free fall. If you own a property in London's tech zones, you need to wake up. You are in a negative equity prison. If you're thinking of buying, wait. The smart money has already left. This isn't a dip, it's the controlled demolition of an entire city's property market. The casualties are already mounting. Pension funds are hiding billions in losses, and your retirement savings are likely exposed to these toxic commercial assets. The crash isn't coming, it's happening in slow motion. Share this video, warn anyone you know in London, because the only power we have against this orchestrated collapse is knowledge.